Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. Today we're going to talk about Arcane Rising, the set that got me involved and interested in Flesh and Blood. We're going to take a look at the estimated value. We're going to take a look at First Edition and Unlimited and see where the boxes are lining up and what values everything has. We're going to look at this, and all this stuff goes to my collection tracker at patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. We get access to a collection tracker, and whenever I update the video, whenever I do an update video on the prices of your sets, then they all update on your collection tracker. You also get a 5% off discount over at MinMaxGamesFab.com. There's also a link in the comment section for discount for MinMax Games Fab, as well as a TCG Player affiliate link if you want to support the channel. All right, let's hop into sealed boxes at an average selling price of around $1,900 today for first edition boxes. These have been pretty flatline, pretty much. They had a little bit of a pump to like 2,700, but then they kind of came back to this like right at 1,900. It seems to be where we're lining up here for the longer term. Let's take a look and show you some of those sold listings here. So you had like one sell for 2,000. You had two of them sell for 2,000 each. One of them sell for 1,950. But then over on TCG Player, there were quite a few that sold for 1,900. And then on the open market, you can even get these if you're looking on Facebook between 1,850 and 2,000 as well. So around 1,900, depends on what your source is. Pretty consistent across the board here. Unlimited boxes sitting at $89. So let's take a look at the Eye of Affidia. No real sales anytime recently on the Eye. I do know some things moving kind of behind closed doors, and not that they tell me the exact price points. It just seems like the market is waiting to hear what happens with Fab 2.0 to see where these prices kind of hit or miss. I know legendaries have been moving. We'll talk about that a little bit, and that gives you some confidence in that. But Unlimited Eye is up to $340, possibly with that Kano deck winning that. Winning the not Road to Nationals, winning the ProQuest. So maybe brought some eyes on the Eye. So looking at first edition, let's take a look at what's in the box. Grass the Arcane Knight up to 1,500. This one's a little sneaky. Let's see if I can find it. Grass the Arcane Knight. This one's a little sneaky just based on where it was. There are some sold listings here at 1,650, at 1,225, and at 1,200. Sorry, that one was in January. So the most recent one, 1,650. Over on Facebook, I've seen some people talking about it, and so you could call this one 1,650 if you want to. But there was also another sale on March 9th that was for 1,225. So I'm going to average those two because it's been since then that I updated the prices. So Arcane Knight Skullcap. You've got some other sales going on the Skullcap too. Be careful on eBay. It'll show up as $445. That is not accurate. I don't know why it's doing that. If within the eBay function, you can see that one actually sold for $1,200 on best offer. And then there's one that sold for $1,500 as well as $1,625, all relatively recently. But it is getting harder and harder to find where these are going to land. I think a lot of people were a little bit nervous when those ones ended at the 1,200, and that's where we are. Looking at Tectal Founderheart, you're at 1,400. You also had a Stormstriders that sold for 800 and a Skullbone Crosswrap that sold for 937. So these are all over the place. Make sure you're doing your own homework and valuing them how you would like to value them, and putting the money that you want to put into them, and not just taking the last solds or whatever, as it is. They are few and far between. And some of these auctions, I just felt like there wasn't much interaction with them. I was kind of watching some of these auctions and there wasn't much bidding happening. And I wonder if people are just not paying super attention to this market, and so some deals are sneaking through. Cold Foil Commons, average price sitting at $236. That's down 1%. These have just kind of, tailed off. There was a huge buy percentage at $300 a while ago, way back before the print run announcement, and that just never held. It just has kind of slowly been tailing off down into this kind of average price that we kind of landed at, which is like $236. So that seems to be the average price there. First edition Majestics, no real sales on the rainbow foil stuff. The regular ones are down 2% to an average of $43. You've got super rares happening here. No huge sales on the rainbow foil side, and then the non-foil side is actually up to $7.12, which is up almost 8%. Rainbow foil rares are actually up 5%, an average of $15. And the regular rares are at about $1. So rainbow foil commons average price on TCG Player is $7.28. And as we get into the EV, then it's very important that you understand that this is just an estimate, and it's expected value. That it's an estimate based on all the things that you saw here. But if you are going to open up 40 boxes, and not sell any of the regular commons, you'd be sitting at about $1,153 per box. That's if you open up 40 boxes and you do hit the eye of Affidia. If you just open up a case, you can expect to hit around $991. But if you're just opening up one box and you are going to include, kind of on average hitting the Majestic Rainbow foil, you're going to be sitting at around $681 per box. So still highly risky to open up an Arcane Rising First Edition box. But a lot of fun if you want to and have that kind of capital to spend, and you hit a legendary cold foil and you've made your money back pretty much. So, yeah, about 1 in 4 shot of making your money back. Unlimited legendaries. Grass of the Arcane Knight is going up still. This has been one of the more, popular class types to play in the Runeblade. Obviously, we saw Viscerai kind of taken off this last couple of weeks. Arcane Knight Skullcap is down. This one's interesting as it's in Everfest, so it is interesting to see that this version is going down too. You've got Teklo Foundry Heart down 12% to $83, and then the Skullbone Cross Wrap is down 6.5% to $43. Unlimited Majestics down across the board too. You're down to 16% for the rainbow foils. Your Command and Conquer is down 26% to $125. The regular one is down 25% to $81. I don't know what to say about all this. There has not been a restock that I am aware of Arcane Rising. But we did have a little bit of a buyout happen the early last week. I think mostly, or a couple weeks ago, mostly I think due to ProQuest season. So maybe this is people selling their cards post ProQuest season, who are now switching over to a different class or whatever. But it is super interesting to see some of these cards like Art of War, where your foil multiplier and your non-foil multiplier are starting to separate. So it's kind of an interesting thing to watch. See how these always have moved kind of relatively together. And you have a couple moments where they kind of separate and then they come back. And you've got another moment here where they've separated. So kind of an interesting look and something to keep your eye on. Unlimited super rares down 15% or down 1%, depending if you're doing rainbow foil or non. Just across the board, they're kind of down. Same thing with the Majestics. There's not really much to talk about. I guess you could talk about Blazing Aether, Arcane Knight Ascendancy, and Art of War being up. Obviously Arcane Knight Ascendancy, Viscerai, Blazing Aether is probably due to the Kano deck that's going around. So there's not really, but then the non-foil ones are not up, so it's hard to take any meta evaluations from that. All right, looking at rainbow foil rares, on average you're at 37 cents. Your regular rares on average are 8 cents. Rainbow foil commons are 28 cents, and regular commons don't really do much. So let's take a look at your expected value per box here. We're down across the board, like 11 to 15 to 17%. And now this is the important thing. If you're going to open up 40 boxes, so if you're a store and you're dumping these at $80 a box, whatever, you're actually leaving like $17 of profit on the board. On average, you're going to make $97 per box if you open up 40 of them. But note how much value this fabled rainbow foil here is taken from the box. So if you only open up a case, you're sitting around $88 per box. But if you just open up a box, you're sitting at $92. So it's really important that you open up at least a case, in my opinion, of Arcane Rising. It's also important because you're you're multiplying your chances of hitting that Command and Conquer, which has such a huge value added to it as well. So there's been a lot of fakes going on too. But we're going to talk about those on the channel later this week. There's been a lot of fakes. They are, if you know what you're doing, they're pretty easy to catch. But those of you who don't know what you're doing, you could be fooled pretty easily by some of these Command and Conquer fakes. So be careful out there, everyone. I would say if you can get boxes for $80, it's it's fine to open this product, especially if you're having fun. Just remember that the individual boxes are spiky, and you can hit a legendary and not hit a legendary. You can hit a Command and Conquer, you cannot hit a Command and Conquer. So you're playing the gambling bit a little bit differently with Arcane Rising than you would be on like Everfest or something like that has a very consistent pull rate. So hope you guys have yourself a fantastic day. One more time, if you want access to this collection tracker, you can head over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG. It's a great way to track the value of your collection, and then you also get a discount code over at minmaxgamesfab.com. I hope you have yourself a good one. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and we'll see you again next video.